وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وليخشى الذين لو تركوا من خلفهم ذرية ضعافا خافوا عليهم فليتقوا الله وليقولوا قولا سديدا إن الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا يوصيكم الله في أولادكم للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين فإن كن نساء فوق اثنتين فلهن ثلثا ما ترك وإن كانت واحدة فلها النصف ولأبويه لكل واحد منهما السدس مما ترك إن كان له ولد فإن لم يكن له ولد وورثه أبواه فلأمه الثلث فإن كان له إخوة فلأمه السدس من بعد وصية يوصي بها أو دين آباؤكم وأبناؤكم لا تدرون أيهم أقرب لكم نفعا فريضة من الله إن الله كان عليما حكيما صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. So today inshallah we'll start from ayah 11 and then ayah 12. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is specifically mentioning the shares of people after somebody passes away. I started with ayah number 9 because ayah 9 and 10 also hint at the shares of people and the general rules of inheritance. So we did those two ayat yesterday, but there's a few rulings that are written under these ayat that we should mention. This ayah number 9 that we did the translation of yesterday, وَلْيَخْشَى الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا, that the people who are leaving behind their inheritance, they should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about the people that they are leaving behind. One ruling that is given under this ayah is that a person who is about to die or anybody, for the fear of letting their inheritors inherit their property, it is not allowed for them to give all of their wealth in charity so that their inheritors may be deprived of their share, or to give a lot of it. It is a very despised thing. Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas radiallahu anh came in the life of the Prophet ﷺ and wanted to give all or half of his wealth in charity. The Prophet ﷺ prohibited him and told him that for in this property of yours there is a share of your inheritors, so don't do that. It is absolutely impermissible if somebody at the time of their death or in their sickness of death, which is that sickness that leads to their death, if they do it, even if they have done it, that wealth that has been given in charity will be taken back, or if they've gifted their wealth to someone, it will be taken back and it will be given to the inheritors. Second thing is that إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى, this ayat number 10, the rulings given here is that in our cultures there's so many rusumat, so many cultural things that we do that are expressly against the Sharia. Some of them have been mentioned. For example, when somebody dies, it is considered a sin and a very absurd thing to talk about the division of inheritance, and people deliberately delay it and keep on delaying it, and then what happens, it opens up the doors of mixing of amwal. So for example, a person dies, now he has sons and daughters and they have left behind their wife. Now the division of inheritance, of course it does not have to be done immediately right after before even putting them into grave, but this should be something that should be done hastily so that there is less chance of mixing and doing something against the Sharia. Now the mother would say that she would consider it bad if somebody brings up this issue of division, or the brothers would consider it bad that it hasn't been even a few days since our father passed away and people are talking about the division of inheritance. These are all wrong things. Division of inheritance should be done quickly so that there is less chance of going against the Sharia. Some people do it on purpose, delay it, and therefore they get an opening of mixing their amwal with the inheritance or using inappropriately the wealth left behind as inheritance. So the ruling of Sharia is that as soon as somebody passes away, the first thing that would be taken care of is their kafan and dafan. Kafan is the shroud. In that, Sharia has defined that even the sheet that is put over the coffin carrier, even that is not part of kafan. Even that cannot be bought from the inheritance of the deceased. Only the 3 or 5 sheets of kafan, they can be bought from what the deceased has left behind. Similarly, the grave, that will be taken care of by the wealth of the person who has left behind. People who are coming, they cannot feast, they cannot be given to eat from the money of the deceased. It comes about our mashayikh, our elders, that there was a person who passed away and this sheikh was there. As soon as they passed away, they even put off the light that was burning there, because they said, he was asked, why did you do it? He said that the oil that is being used was bought by this person, now it has become part of inheritance, to keep the light alive. The other thing that is prevalent is that kafan and grave, while spending on behalf of the dead person for their kafan and for their shroud and their grave, neither there should be extravagant spending nor there should be very miserliness. It should be a median way. Then no sadaqah and no charity of utensils, of money, of clothing, of anything can be given from the deceased now. So it is a cultural norm that the clothing that they were wearing at the time of their death is given in sadaqah, expressly against Sharia. This comes under innal ladhina ya'kuluna amwal al-yatama zulman innama ya'kuluna fi butunihim nara. If somebody does that, they are putting fire in their stomach. They are not doing charity, they are putting fire in their stomach. Similarly, at times, from their charity, from what they have left behind, food is given to the poor people, or a deg is sent in the madrasa or yatim khana, orphanage, that food on behalf of the deceased. All of these things are impermissible. If the inheritance has been divided and then one of the sons or one of the daughters, one of the inheritors, on behalf of the dead person, for isal sawab, for sending them sawab, does it from their own share, then that is permissible. Now the ayah that explains hardcore, the shares of people. Yusikumullahu fi awladikum. What we should know about this is that, yes, so I was mentioning, first of all, kafan and dafan, kafan and grave, shroud and grave, then whatever debts they may have. Whatever debt they may have, that is to be given, that is to be paid. If all of their inheritance is used up in paying off their debts, then all of it will be used and none of it will remain for the inheritors. If some of it remains, whatever remains after paying off the debts will be used. If something remains after paying off their debts and they have left a wasiyat, a bequest, for their missed salah, missed fasts, missed zakah, missed sacrifice, whatever, those kind of things, then that will be paid off only from 1/3. Only from 1/3. Whatever is left behind, only from the first third. If their wasiyat or their will goes beyond 1/3, it will be only fulfilled up to the point of 1/3. The remaining 2/3 will always go to the inheritors. Okay. Now when it comes to inheritors, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yusikumullahu fi awladikum. Allah directs you concerning your children. لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ. For a male, there is a share equal to that of 2 females. In there is a hikmah, which I explained, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that if there is 2 daughters and 1 son, or each son will get the double of the female child. The reason is that the responsibility of taking care of those female children as well is put on the shoulders of the brother. The sisters do not have to take care of their brother, but the brother has to take care of his sisters after their father. Another fine point that Hazrat Mufassirin have mentioned is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ, which means the literal translation would be, for a male child there is double the share of 2 female children. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has defined the share of the male based on the share of the females. In there, ulama have mentioned, and the fine point is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has again emphasized the importance of the share of female children. People do some things like, sometimes sisters and brothers are there, and there is no discussion of division of wealth, and sisters get the idea that the brothers will not want to do it, so those sisters, they just stay quiet, and thinking that they will never get their share, they kind of forgive it, that why should we argue with our brothers, because they are the only support left for us now, why should we argue with them? So there's an understanding that they've forgiven, or even sometimes they say that we have forgiven because they don't want to put up a fight with their brothers. Such a forgiveness is not considered valid in Sharia. Such a forgiveness is not considered valid in Sharia. Similarly, a forgiveness or consent of a minor child is never considered valid in Sharia. If all the inheritors want to give all the wealth in charity after getting their shares, they cannot do it unless and until all of them are adults. Because even if one of them is minor and that minor says that I consent to giving to using this wealth, their consent is not valid. Their consent is not valid. Okay. So لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ कितना टाइम हुआ अभी? 11 minutes हो गए. Okay, so these two ayat inshallah we can do together. Explains the shares. لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ, for brother there is that equal to two female childs. فَإِن كُنَّ نِسَاءً, well, let's do the translation of this ayah. فَإِن كُنَّ نِسَاءً فَوْقَ اثْنَتَيْنِ فَلَهُنَّ ثُلُثَا مَا تَرَكَ. But if they are only women, so if the children that they are leaving behind, if they are only female children, more than two, then they get 2/3 of what one leaves behind. So 2/3 is given to those female children. If there is only female children, 2/3 of the wealth is given to the female children. 1/3 will be given to the aqrabeen. What will be the aqrabeen? Parents, for example, maybe if they are there, or the wife of the deceased. Okay. Or the spouse, basically the husband or the wife. فوق اثنتين, and if they are more than two, but it is apparent that if they are two, they also get 2/3. If only female children. وَإِنْ كَانَتْ وَاحِدَةً فَلَهَا النِّصْفُ. If there is only one, she gets 1/2. وَلِأَبَوَيْهِ. Now for the parents, لِكُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمَا السُّدُسُ. For each of the parent there is 1/6 mimma tarak, of the taraka, of whatever has been left behind. In kana lahu walad, in case they also have children. So if there is children and their parents, then for each of the parents there is 1/6. فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ وَلَدٌ, and if they do not have children, وَوَرِثَهُ أَبَوَاهُ فَلِأُمِّهِ الثُّلُثُ. If he does not have any children and only the parents have inherited, so there is no children, be it females or males, and only parents are inheriting, then the mother gets 1/3 and the father gets 2/3. So in this it is said that وَوَرِثَهُ أَبَوَاهُ, only the parents are inheritors. There is no brothers and sisters, there is no children. فَإِن كَانَ لَهُ إِخْوَةٌ, and if he has some brothers or sisters, any brothers or sisters, إِخْوَةٌ فَلِأُمِّهِ السُّدُسُ, then the mother gets 1/6 and the remaining goes to the father. And this is, so technically the brothers and sisters are not getting any share, but because of their existence the share is reduced for the mother. مِن بَعْدِ وَصِيَّةٍ يُوصِي بِهَا أَوْ دَيْنٍ, after settling whatever will he might have made, or awdain, or anything that is a debt on him or them, whoever is passed away. آباؤكم وأبناؤكم لا تدرون أيهم أقرب لكم نفعا. You do not know out of your fathers and your sons who is closer to you in benefiting you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that you do not know. If we had left this division upon your discretion, then you would have thought that who is going to benefit us more. And you do not know that for sure, because only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the ilm of unseen, the knowledge of unseen. You would have thought that this person is going to be more benefiting to us in the future, so give him more or give them more. You do not know. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not left it over you. فَرِيضَةً مِّنَ اللَّهِ, all this has been determined by Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلِيمًا حَكِيمًا, surely Allah is the one who is all knowing and all wise. So all of this has been settled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once and for all. And He is Alim and Hakim. He has, under His perfect wisdom and perfect knowledge, He has settled this. So there is no room for any debate or any dispute about this. The easiest thing to do is that when somebody passes away, then division of these matters should be taken not even to a common alim, but somebody who's well skilled in these ilm of faraid. It's called ilm of faraid, what has been said, what has been decided. It should be taken to them, a mufti who's proficient in ilm of faraid, and they can do it for you. They can do it for you. Everybody agrees to his division, then their division can be accepted. And this is not something that even a common alim can do. Anyway, astaghfirullah. If you have to, those people who, na'udhu billah, these days who've become alim, who claim to be alim, knowledgeable people, just based on having read the translation of the Quran somewhere, or having read the tafsir of the Quran somewhere, take these masail to them, and their skill will be tested. So we'll find out that these are not simple matters. It will become very hard for them, and therein you learn that who is a real alim, who is a skilled alim, and who is not. Who has become a alim by reading the translation of the Quran, and who's got the proper knowledge of everything. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, as-salatu was-salamu ala sayyidil mursaleen, Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa illam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin, Rabbi ighfir warham wa anta khairur rahimin, sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqih, Sayyidina wa lana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.